Well, it's not really so screwy, because that focusing on what isn't wanted is what causes a creation of what is wanted. In other words, in every moment in this vibrational universe, where in every particle of it there is that which is wanted and lack of it, there is the other side of the wave always. The other side of the wave of what you want is what you don't want. And the other side of the wave of what you don't want is what you want. And when you know what you want, the other side of it is equal and proportionate. In other words, when you know what you want, what you don't want is equal in its vibration in the other direction. When you know what you don't want, what you do want is equal in its vibration in the other direction. In other words, you just cannot focus on a problem without a solution queuing up too. Isn't that wonderful? Don't you just love knowing that your participation in life keeps the expansion going? So what happens is, you know what you don't want, what you do want gets stronger. And here's the part most of our human friends don't realize. When you launch the other side of that wave, the source within you, the non-physical part of you, the part of you that was before you were in this body, and the part of you that remains the larger part of you even though you're in this body, that non-physical part of you takes that wave, absorbs it into its beingness, and becomes the newly evolved, expanded, better than ever being than it was before you had the problem. That's expansion. Source adores you and thanks you all day, every day for your contribution to its all that is expansion. You contribute mightily. But when you stay focused on the problem that produced the expansion, two things happen. First, you don't go. And second, you feel bad because you don't go. In other words, the reason that you feel negative emotion of any kind, whether it's blame or guilt or fear or anger or frustration or overwhelmment, every particle of negative emotion, no matter how deep-seated or soft it is, every little bit of negative emotion always means exactly the same thing. You've expanded, and right now you're not taking the expansion. So when you feel negative emotion, let's take a light negative emotion like frustration. When you feel frustration, what it simply means is, and doesn't this speak to what frustration really is? You could say what we're about to say just in your description of frustration. Frustration is your indicator that things aren't going as well as you want them to. That's the way you would describe it. But it's even better than that. Frustration means you're not allowing yourself to be all that you've become. It's more than just not letting things go the way you want them to be. It's a, in the moment, absolute defiance of who you've become. And here's the part we really want you to get. If you hadn't become it, you wouldn't miss not going. So the fact that you feel the frustration means expansion has happened, you just haven't gone. So don't you think knowing that, and you just got that, didn't you? You know that. Don't you think knowing that would make you want to celebrate every frustrating moment? Really? Every frustrating moment means, ooh, I expanded. Haven't figured out how to go yet, but the good news is I've expanded. Now you can play that either way. Once you take the expansion, in other words, we've been having a lot of fun and a lot of success in describing to you that when your vibrational frequency is up to speed with that of your source, then there's no resistance within you. And when there's no resistance within you, you and who you really are, you and your source are one. And when you are one, there is a satisfaction in that blending that can only be described as feeling really good. You could call it ecstasy or frisky. You could call it love or appreciation. You could call it joy. But it means no resistance between you and you. And frustration means a little resistance between you and you. Anger means quite a bit more resistance between you and you. Depression means really a lot of resistance between you and you. So there is this emotional scale that is always speaking to the relationship, the vibrational relationship between you and you. And how you feel is your, in every moment, always there, indicator of that vibrational relationship. So you said, when you made the decision to come forth into this leading edge, certain to cause expansion, time, space, reality. You said, oh, eager to go and eager to grow, eager to expand, and eager to feel my human, physical, focused relationship with my own expansion. If you could say and really mean it, the way I feel is my indicator of my relationship with my own expansion, period. It's not about what somebody else did. It's not about what the government is doing or not doing. It's not about what the economy is doing or not doing. It's not about the fact that my lover left or didn't leave. It's not about what my lover is doing or not doing. It's always about my relationship with my furthermost expanded beingness. A woman said, my lover left and now I'm sad. And we said, no, you're not. And she said, I beg your pardon? Couldn't believe we would contradict her so blatantly about something that was a reality in her life. She was thinking thoughts she wasn't saying, like, what do you know, you foolish ghost? My lover left and now I'm sad. No, you're not. Abraham, let me be very clear with you. I wasn't sad. My lover left. Now I am sad. Therefore, I am sad because my lover left. And we said, you are sad because you're not in alignment with who you are, and you're using the fact that your lover left as your excuse to not be in alignment with who you are. Further, you're sad because your lover leaving made you put something even more in alignment with who you want as a lover into your vortex of creation, into your vibrational escrow, and you're using this one that left as your reason to not line up with the real one that's waiting. And so, no, you're not. What? What? What are you talking about? I'm looking at the reality of my life. And we say, we know, stop it. Stop it. Stop looking at the reality of your life. The reality of your life is old news. That's the manifestation that is lagging behind the vibration of who you really are. So now hear this. So when what you're living causes constant further expansion, and you've got your attention upon what you're living, you're depriving yourself of the new expansion, and that equals the resistance that you can feel. Don't you like knowing that? Now, it's a little perplexing. Some of you are thinking that stupid ghost thing. We want you to, let us slow down and say that to you again. So, as you explore the variety of your life here, knowing what you don't want, knowing what you do want, whenever you know what you don't want, you emanate a rocket of what you do want with greater clarity. Now, you don't have to say it. You don't have to say, I don't like having enough money, therefore I like having plenty of money. You don't have to say, I don't like being sick, I really like being well. It's implied, isn't it? In other words, you don't have to say a word about any of it. You know, when you're really sick, you want to be really well, don't you? Don't you think more about wanting to be well when you're sick than at any other time? Doesn't the sickness cause a focusing of that to some degree? So what we're saying to you is life just insists that you emanate these rockets of desire. And every time you do, the non-physical part of you, the vibrational part of you who holds no resistance whatsoever, becomes the non-physical vibrational disembodiment of that newly improved, expanded version of you. Now,